Hi, it's Sarah, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my favourite Korean dramas. So I started watching Korean dramas about a year ago in June 2018. I gathered around a list of 10 to 15 dramas that I wanted to binge watch in my a 1-month holiday between semester 1 and semester 2. And I watched them all, and I think I've watched a fair amount now, so I want to talk about some of my favourite ones, so maybe you can watch them too. So I have a little list here in my book because I have mini summaries there that I want to say, and I don't want to give away what actually happens, so I'm going to stick with what I've written here. So I'm going to mention 5 of my favourite ones and then a couple at the end that I also really liked but aren't really my top favourites. So the first one was actually the very first drama that I ever watched, and it's called Strongman Do Bong-soon. Excuse my pronunciations of the actors' names or the characters' names, because obviously I'm not Korean, so I don't really know if I'm saying them right. But basically that drama is about a woman who has super strength, and she's kind of not ashamed of it, but she doesn't really know how to make use of it, and she doesn't really she tries to hide it from everyone, so only her family knows about it and her best friend. So after some events that happen in the drama, she ends up being hired by this gaming company CEO to be his bodyguard, and at first she's kind of why would I want to be your bodyguard? That's kind of weird, but he offers her a really high salary, so she takes it up, and you kind of see how their relationship develops, and there's kind of a story behind the two of them that you don't really know at the beginning, and you kind of figure it out as you go along. And the main lead in that, or the male lead, is Park Hyung-sik, and I seriously fell in love with him when I watched it. He plays the character so well, and his character is he knows he's good looking, and he knows that he's smart and has a good basis as a CEO and all that kind of stuff, but he's actually seriously whipped for this girl, and you kind of see how he tries to act cool in front of her, but also on the inside he's melting for her. And I thought it was really cute. And normally in dramas it's always the girl in love with this guy and she's trying to chase him, and in this drama it's kind of the opposite. So if you want to see that, I'd really recommend that drama. And then the second one I'm going to talk about is What's Wrong with Secretary Kim. So a lot of my friends watched this one and really liked it, and I feel it was pretty popular in Korea and with people who like dramas as well. It's basically about this woman who is a secretary for this successful CEO of a company. It's a common theme, it's always a CEO, but anyways, she's a secretary for him and she's been with him for a long time, around 10 years or something like that, and she decides to resign from her job because she wants to fulfill other things in her life that she feels she's missed out on because she's been so dedicated to him and serving him for the last 10 years. And he kind of, when he hears that she wants to resign, he kind of realizes that he took her for granted, and he tries to stop her from leaving, and you see how their relationship progresses from just being employee and employer into something a bit more. And there's also a bit of history behind them, and you see why he actually hired her to begin with. And it's a really sweet drama. It's really funny at times. The humor is a bit exaggerated, but I think that kind of adds to the charm. And the main male lead for this one is one of my favourite actors, one of my favourite Korean actors, Park Seo-joon, and he played it really well. It was refreshing, it was different, and I liked seeing him in that light. So if you want to see something like that, I'd recommend that drama. So the next one I watched was My ID is Gangnam Beauty, and basically it's about this girl who has been bullied her whole life for her appearance and how she looks, and straight before she starts uni she gets plastic surgery done to feel more confident about herself, and kind of as a graduation gift from her mum, I guess. And after she gets the surgery done, she does feel better about herself, she feels really pretty, and her mum keeps complimenting her you're so pretty now and all this stuff. But once she starts uni she kind of realizes that even though she looks better, she's now insecure about the fact that people might figure out that she's had plastic surgery and expose her. And while she starts uni she realizes there's this guy from her middle school who they kind of have a history, who's also in her course, and she doesn't want him to like expose her. And you kind of see how she approaches the whole situation and overcomes her insecurities, and along the way, obviously, of course, she falls in love, and there's a love interest in there played by Cha Eun-woo. I think that's how you say his name, and he's in a boy band as well called Astro, so they're pretty good as well, so check that out if you're into K-pop groups. And I think he played the character pretty well too, because from like what I've seen interviews and like their music videos and stuff like that, he's a pretty outgoing, like cheery person, but in the drama he's very deadpan and like just says what he thinks, and like he's a person that doesn't really know how to share his emotions or like talk about his feelings, I guess. And it's kind of fun to see how him meeting the main lead in the drama like makes him change and helps him to like open up and become a better person as well. So that was a really good drama, and it kind of shows you to like let go of what other people think of you and kind of accept yourself for who you are and forget about what other people think. Another one that I watched was Bring It On Ghost, and that one's basically about a guy who has a special ability to see ghosts, and he uses that ability to like low-key start a business to like banish ghosts, and he uses all the money that he gets from those jobs to save up to get a surgery to try and remove this power because he doesn't want it anymore. Like he finds that it's really burdensome, and he just basically doesn't like seeing ghosts, I guess. And on one of his jobs he gets sent to a high school which is haunted by a past student, or people believe that this girl died in that high school and she's haunting it, so he goes there to try and get rid of her. And while he's there he like figures out that she's actually quite a fighter. Like she has some moves, and they have kind of a fight in the school, and she keeps popping up around him after that happens because he doesn't manage to like get rid of her, and she's still haunting the school. So she kind of pops up in his life every now and then they start working together to banish ghosts together, and then you see how that relationship develops, because obviously she's a ghost and he's a human, so there's limitations to what they can do, and only he can see her as well. So you kind of see what happens with that, and that one was quite sweet as well. There's some moments in the drama where it's a bit like it hurts your heart, but it's really good. So the next one I watched was Fight for My Way, which also has Park Seo-joon in it. It was actually the first drama that I watched with him in it and made me fall in love with him, so I guess take from that what you will. It's about 4 childhood best friends who basically try to pursue their dreams after realizing that they're not really happy with where they are in life right now. And it follows the 2 main characters, is Park Seo-joon and the main female lead, who is like trying to become an announcer. I didn't really get what that was when I was watching the drama, but basically it's like she wants to be a TV anchor or like an announcer, like I don't know, like you know at airports when they announce things, I don't know, something like that. And if you love the basic childhood best friends who become like lovers, then you'll probably like this one. It's pretty realistic, I'd say, then compared to other dramas. Like it shows you how hard it is to actually like succeed in life and do what you want to do, but also in a lighthearted way as well. So I'd really recommend that one if you like that type of storyline of childhood best friends who realize their feelings for each other, blah blah blah. You know what I mean. So the next drama that I watched was Love in the Moonlight, who has one of my favorite Korean actors in it, Park Bo-gum. Basically it follows this girl who has to disguise as a male, and she somehow ends up being a male servant in the palace, and she meets the crown prince, who is Park Bo-gum, and she doesn't know that he's the crown prince, and they become friends, and he really likes her. He doesn't know that she's a female, by the way, because obviously she's disguised as a male servant, and they become friends, and he really likes her because she treats him like a normal person, because obviously she doesn't know that he's the crown prince. And you see how their relationship develops and how she kind of helps him to become a better person. and to eventually become a better king if he gets to that stage. And there's also like kind of a backstory that links her and the crown prince that you kind of figure out, like they don't know each other, but there's something that happened in their past that links them together, and that kind of tests their relationship, and you see if they can get through it and how they work through things. So that's a really good drama. Oh, it's a historical drama or period drama, if I didn't mention that. So that's kind of like, well, those are like my top 6, I guess. And then an honorable mention is Weightlifting Fairy. So I watched that one like probably towards the end, and I wasn't really paying that much attention, but it was still pretty cute. It's basically about this girl who goes to a sporting university and she's a weightlifter, and you kind of watch her, I guess, struggle a little bit with being a weightlifter and having, which is such a like masculine sport, and also trying to be feminine and like working through finding herself as like a woman. And you see her go through typical like adolescent or adult, I don't know, journeys in life where you have a crush and you're trying to like pull all the stops and to try and please them and get them to notice you, but like also in the meantime you've built up this image of a person in your head and they're like up on a pedestal because you love them and you think you like them so much, but actually they're not really who you think they are in your head. And you kind of have to work through that and let the crush go, and in the meantime she kind of finds someone else who's more right for her and like accepts her for who she is, and she doesn't have to pretend, and she's more comfortable in front of them. So it's kind of like a college experience type of drama and falling in love with your first boyfriend or first girlfriend type of thing, and it's pretty sweet and I really like that one as well. And to finish off the video, I guess I'll mention the very first drama, Asian drama that I watched that kicked off my whole K-drama craze, which was actually a Chinese drama to begin with. So it's a Chinese drama called A Love So Beautiful, and it follows this girl who's in high school and she has basically been in love with her neighbour for her whole life, and they go to the same high school. They went to the same primary school, middle school, and high school, and she's trying to convince him or like get him to like her too. And there's major second lead syndrome in this drama, so if you don't like that then maybe you won't like this. But it's a really good drama. It's a bit cringe, okay, it's really cringe about some of the stuff that she does to try and get him to like her, but it's also really sweet. It's kind of like a coming of age type of feel, very high school and cheesy, but also kind of makes your heart flutter type of vibe. So if you want to check that out and you like Chinese dramas, so maybe see that one. And there's also another one that I watched these holidays that is made from the same person who made that drama, called Put Your Head on My Shoulder, and it's basically about a similar kind of story or like a vibe that you get from A Love So Beautiful, but this time they're in university. So it's 2 new characters obviously, and it kind of follows the journey of this boy and this girl who somehow end up living together in the same apartment, and you see how she kind of brings him out of his shell and like brings out the best parts of him and he brings out the best parts of her, and how they like grow together until graduation. So that's a really sweet drama as well. So that kind of wraps up all the dramas that I like or that I've watched recently and have a special place in my heart. So if you like any dramas, maybe you can suggest them to me and I'll check them out. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!